With you as I close is this, and it's something you've already recognized. Here we are in a Republican primary. And when people stop and consider how the country's gotten in the situation that it's gotten in here recently, you can't deny the fact that the Republicans, for the most part, have controlled every level of government. We may not have had the party majority like the Democrats now enjoy in Washington, but we held the presidency, the Congress, the Senate, the state legislature, the governor, the Supreme Court, and otherwise. Something went awry, didn't it? Because when those Republicans were at candidates' nights, and when they were at our Lincoln Day dinners and our Republican activities, they said all the right things. They made me believe they meant less government, less regulation, less taxes. They made me believe they could be trusted, and something happened. When they got to Washington, they did just the opposite. As you consider who you choose to represent you in Washington this time around, I would ask you to look beyond our ability to memorize Republican bullet points, my ability to study the Heritage Foundation website and regurgitate it to you tonight. And I would ask you to look for the candidate that you honestly believe will have the courage and fortitude to stand up not only to the other side, but to his own party at times to move the country forward. What America's looking for is men and women who understand the role the government is to play in our lives. We don't need people with more experience. We had a United States Senate made up almost entirely of successful millionaires who'd been greatly successful in their personal business ventures, who'd been greatly successful in their entrepreneurial activities and their nonprofit activities, and yet the balanced budget has never come. They continue to act in ways that defy common sense. It's not experience and it's not education that is lacking in Washington. What is lacking in, you have too many politicians who no longer understand the role the government is to play in our lives, but who also would rather get elected and do what's necessary to get the next big campaign contribution than be your true voice in Washington. I will not have the most money in this campaign. I think most of you probably know that by now. But we'll have enough to get our message out. And I'm convinced that when I get out and shake your hand and you and I get the chance to talk, you'll see that this isn't a whim. I just don't want to be part of the crowd. I actually think there's a nation that needs saved. A nation that needs saved from the forces that seem to be discarding the very principles that made it great. Individual freedom, personal responsibility, hard work. Not only that, but a belief in the fact that those rights did come from a creator. At one of the first forums that Jim Renacci and I attended, someone in the audience asked an interesting question. They said, what will it take to heal America? The truth of the matter is, there's no law I will pass if I'm your U.S. congressman that will fix your country. We can make changes, but in the end, we must be seeking to live by the principles of the Creator if we want to see America prosperous for years to come.